Good morning, teetotalers, and welcome to the 45th episode of QuaranTEAtime with Celeste. Of course, I'm Celeste Barbier, your host, and today is Wednesday, May 6th in the year 2020, and I am drinking Naturaté Lemongrass Tea, some off-brand tea. It hasn't steeped very long, so it kind of tastes like hot water. But lemongrass is actually really good. If you ever wanted to get something that's a good mosquito repellent, I highly recommend getting some lemongrass essential oil. We'll come back to that tea and try it a little bit after it's steeped. I'm running a little bit late today on my show. And the reason is because it is National Nurses Day. And I've been trying to compile a list of all the people that I know are nurses. And there are probably way more than the people that I ended up finding, because nurses tend to be very humble sort who don't need want a lot of credit, want a lot of attention. And I had put out a post yesterday asking where my nurse is at. And some people responded, but not very many. A lot more people responded with listing all of their nurses that they know. So I want to give acknowledgement to all the nurses that are out there. It is National Nurses Day. This started in the first idea of National Nurses Day started out in 1953 when a gal wrote to the government asking for them to start it. But then Nurse Week was established from May 6th to May 12th. The reason is because Florence Nightingale was born on May 12th in the year 1820 and lived till August 13th in 1910. She is the founder of modern nursing, and she became very well known taking care of wounded soldiers during the Crimean War, and she was known as the Lady with the Lamp because she would be making her rounds at night to all of the wounded soldiers with her little lamp. And this year's 2020 theme for Nurse Week is Nurses, a Voice to Lead. Now, there are so many references and things and stuff out there about nurses, written by nurses, written about nurses. It was really hard for me to figure out what to say today. But let me tell you, the other national days. Let's try this tea again. Very subtle lemongrass kind of flavor on that one. It is also National Beverage Day, so you want to make sure that you're well hydrated with your beverages. National Crêpe Suzette Day. I don't think I've ever had that, actually. National Bike to School Day. Well, the kids are not going to school right now, so we don't have to worry about that one. And National Skilled Trades Day. And of course, there are tons of skilled tradesmen out there, and we appreciate you very, very much. Your IT guys, your electric guys, your cable installers, all of the tradesmen. There are just hundreds and hundreds of different professions in the skilled trades work. But we're focusing on Nurse Day today, and the way I want to do that is, one, I want to read the Nurses' Creed, the Nurses' Pledge. This is Florence Nightingale's Nurses' Pledge, and it was revised in 1935, and then it was revised again. This is the modern pledge. So I'm going to read you the modern pledge. Before God and those assembled here, I solemnly pledge to adhere to the code of ethics of the nursing profession, to cooperate faithfully with the other members of the nursing team, and do carry out faithfully and to the best of my ability the instructions of the physician or the nurse who may be assigned to supervise my work. I will not do anything evil or malicious, and I will not knowingly give any harmful drug or assist in malpractice. I will not reveal any confidential information that may come to my knowledge in the course of my work. I pledge myself to do all in my power to raise the standards and prestige of the practical nursing. May my life be devoted to service and to the high ideals of the nursing profession. So I'm not sure if that's something that nurses have to say when they just take on their RN certification and degrees, but it's very interesting. So that's really what the job of the nurse is. And it's so interesting because we all are going to have to deal with nurses in our life. Most of the time when we're born, the nurse is the first person that's going to hold us as soon as we are fresh out the womb. And also the nurses are going to be there to tend us in our very final moments in most cases. So we love our nurses very, very much, and they mean a lot to us. And I want to give a shout out to some of the nurses that I know, some of the names I was able to collect. First of all, I come from a line of nurses. My great-grandmother Joan, she was a nurse for 55 years in Orange County. She worked at Hoag Hospital, and she was also a private nurse later in her career. And my other grandma, my grandma Ruth, she was a nurse as well for all of her life. These women wanted to have long careers, and women didn't have a lot of options back when they were born in the early 1920s and 30s. They could become teachers, they could become nurses, and there weren't a whole big selection. So choosing to become a nurse is just an amazing thing, because nurses have to deal with more than anybody who is not in the medical profession can imagine. And people always want to say women are squeamish and everything, but these women have to deal with so much blood and guts and disgusting things. It's amazing, and nothing makes them squeamish. So I think the nurses are pretty awesome. The ones that I've met, nothing freaks them out. They're always really down to earth, really humble, really just the salt of the earth kind of women and men. And I want to give a shout out to these people. Jeannie Marie, I love Jeannie Marie. She's not only a fantastic nurse, she's a school nurse, and she's also a very creative, beautiful human being. My friend Cynthia Thompson is a retired nurse, and she has continued helping people like her own mother as a nurse. My friend Claudine, she's a nurse over here at Palomar Hospital, and I was so proud of her when she got her nursing degree, and she's been working very hard with the coronavirus patients ever since that hit. Same with my friend Claudia Hernandez. She moved out to Alabama, but she is a nurse, and she volunteered herself to be one of the people that would work firsthand with COVID-19 patients. So a shout out to Claudia. My friend Julie Jenkins is a retired nurse. My friend Janine Hardy is a retired nurse. My friend Sonia Curo is a retired nurse. My friend Tanya Robinson is a nurse. Gina Levi, Veronica Badai, Dolly Bodden. Aishelle McKenzie is a nurse over in New York City in the Brooklyn area. My friend Christina Marie Whitley Perino, she is a retired nurse. Yvonne McClamrock, she's a nurse. Tina Barton, Rhiannon Bush, and Samuel Ramsey. And Samuel is my one guy nurse, but you have to remember men and women are all in the nursing profession, and we want to give a shout out and love to all the nurses in our lives. Thank you guys for being there for us. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your patience when we are in our worst of our worst states. We don't want anybody to see us, and there you are, tending to us, loving, making sure that we are okay, and there's just not enough words to thank you all for what you do. So enjoy your day. Happy Nurses Day. Happy Nurses Week. May you continue to be acknowledged and loved and appreciated all days of the year. And you guys have a fantastic, wonderful Wednesday.